Hey folks, welcome back to Star Wars Galaxy Shares Day by Day. Thanks for being here. Appreciate it. If you watched the earlier video, it's much quieter now. The free-to-play video, that is. It's not that much later, but it's like half an hour later, and it's quieter. Didn't expect to beat Mr. Sir Hell, but, we tried. But he was just way a lot. Continuing our journey, my friends. Continuing our journey as we always do. Nihilus first, of course. Gotta get closer to where we need to be able to move on. One step closer to having our Sith Empire team, I wouldn't say done, but up and operating, because if I say done and then I stop, people are going to be like, you're not done. It's like, so I just made a choice right then to not say done, but to get up and where I want it to be. So, yeah. I think I did something earlier. What did I do? I was like, oh, I should probably include people in this. Or I should have waited or something. And maybe it was my Padawan Obi-Wan on the what I call the original count. Made it to Relic 1, which is important. I rambled a bit last night when I was delirious about Mara Jade, but just understand that there are much, much worse options than bringing Mara Jade into canon. And if you saw the last episode of the Skeleton Crew, then you know. But I'm kind of seeing the unraveling of a lot of stuff. And, the first one to unravel was probably Marvel after Endgame, because what Marvel Studios did with that first, with beginning with Iron Man 1 and culminating in Avengers Endgame, was nothing short of spectacular. And then sort of since then, it's been a very hit or miss. I think I talked about Brave New World in one of the videos I did yesterday. And, I mentioned the live action, and some of the live action has been good. But if you're planning on Snow White being good, after the casting of the dwarves they had originally done, and then the going back and CGIing the dwarves, and then everything, and then it's especially bad. And South Park in Welcome to the Painterverse hit both sides, and I get that they don't, that's understandable, but this saying keeps crossing my mind. And I was thinking about this today when I was watching the news, when I was checking out the news of what's going on in California with the wildfires. And when you're seeing this, the wildfires are over I hope they are. I hope that they end, right now. But with all the decisions that these studios are making, with the decisions that people make in general, and I'll give you an example. There was a school levy here locally that people had the choice to vote on, and it was going to raise it was to raise their property taxes a lot to pay for a new school, a elementary school from pre-K to whenever they go to middle school, or maybe it was, I don't even know if it incorporates the middle school, but it was gonna raise people's property taxes, and I voted against it. And my thinking was, maybe I have the money to pay for it, but I don't know if my neighbor does. And anyway, it passed. And then what happened over the beginning of the year is people were seeing that based upon a reevaluation of their property, their property taxes were increasing this year. And the levy doesn't kick in until next year. And so it went up this year, and it's going to go up again next year. And I was thinking, why did they vote for that? Because it could potentially cost people their, who knows what they could have done with that extra money. And in California, people are losing their lives because of decisions made that never had to be that way. And it's the same thing with Marvel. It's the same thing with Star Wars. It's the same thing with all of these industries that are struggling. I mentioned the successful franchises, the successful movies of this year. Top 10 movies of 2023 were all either remakes, sequels, or a theatrical adaptation of a property that was already successful, of being Wicked. So you have movies like Dune 2, Moana 2, Despicable Me 4, Inside Out 2, Kung Fu Panda 4, Godzilla. So these are all. There's nothing original. It's just continuation of already successful franchises using more or less the same. And what we're seeing is, if you deviate from that, like what I mentioned with Marvel, after they did Endgame, and they sort of changed their focus and they moved away from what had made all of that work. Now they may bring it back by the time we get to, what is it, Avengers Doomsday? Or RDJ is going to be playing Doctor Doom. They may bring it back by then, but how far away is that? Meanwhile, Star Wars keeps, people didn't like Andor because there's no lightsabers, but Andor, if you watch it, it's a great show. It's a great sci-fi espionage thriller. And it's based upon a movie, and it's showrun and written by the guy who made Rogue One. And so it's awesome. And am I thrilled that they're going to have Director Krennic in season 2? What do you think? Based upon what you know about me and Director Krennic? No. But I mentioned they should they might want to think about making something like the Acolyte and Otherworld series, or Metaverse, or a multiverse series, because of what Star Trek did with Discovery, where Star Trek is be like, yeah, it's not canon, even though it's in Fleet Commander, even though it's in Star Trek Online. Are they going to take that content out of Star Trek Online and out of Fleet Commander? I doubt it. Why? Because there's a legitimate chance that they made money on it. Star Trek, by the way, another beloved franchise that has just continued to do things. Oh, look, we finished Revan. Sweet. Revan 2. Revan is now 13, and now he's Relic 1, my friends. So we did end up pulling up something. We ended up getting JKR 2 Relic 1, my friends. So that's one character down. So, and we'll come back and we'll Relic 3 or 5 him at some point. But, that being said, I pointed out I don't think we're going to be Leia this year, because we still have to do MJ and Pal and Treya and Revan, and maybe not Simps, but Master Qui-Gon, maybe not Sis Assassin, but Empire Trooper, Nihilus, Marauder, Scion. So I mentioned maybe not Assassin, so we'll go ahead and bye-bye Assassin. And Snips is somebody I want to do, but for the sake of getting to Leia faster, we'll go ahead and just take her off the board. And I'll take her off this thing right here, even, so I don't have to think about her. And now that Revan is we could actually take him off the board, because those are just Relic this person. So let's do this. MJ here and make that like that. So, we've made some space in our farm where we're not working on as much as we were initially going to. How much quicker we're going to get to where we need to be, without having to bring up and gear up, just slump some more gear on one character and bring another character all the way up. How much faster that's going to get us there, I don't know. But if you're wondering, we are about where, oh, and look at this. Why didn't I notice this? I can do this and be like, oh, hey, there it is. Yeah, that helps out a little bit. So that's, so we have however many we have. It's gonna take forever to finish Scion and Nihilus. System Pro Trooper could take, I'm hoping less than 2 weeks to get done as far as getting shards for him, and then we can move on to Marauder. Actually, we should probably finish Drogon first, because he's closer. But yeah, I mean, we'll be there sooner rather than later. Do I have how many? Where'd he go? There he is. We have how many? I only have one. So needless to say, we need 2 more for him. We need 4 for him. I think we'll be able to do this pretty easily. Then, once we get to Malik, Malik is going to be, Malik will be the last one we work on, because all of those get 2 shards are going to go straight into Malik. So we want to make sure that we have Pet Obi-Wan off the board, Qui-Gon off the board, Revan off the board, Trey off the board, Empire Trooper off the board, Nihilus, Marauder, and Scion off the board. Make sure that everybody's off the board so that we can just shove shards into Malik and just shove gear into Malik so that we can get him. And so if you're wondering, hey, when are you going to start relicking people? Really? When are you really going to look? When are you really going to go back and start putting relics into people? It's going to be when we get to Revan. And because we can unlock, we can have Malik unlocked, and we can get him up to 10 or 11, but we can't finish him until we get everyone else done, because everyone else's shards, everyone else's gear needs are going to take priority over him. So when we will absolutely go ape on bringing people up, we could do it anytime really, but let's check real quick and see how many Favre pads we have. Not that we really need to worry about it, but we only have 1,600, which is, what is that? We could bring Sailors to 3 to 5 across the board shortly. But I think what I want to do before that, I want to bring the Night Sisters to 3 across the board. Yeah, I think I want to bring Night Sisters to 3 across the board. So we already have Talzin at 3, but that means we need to bring Marin, Asajj, Odaka, and Night Trooper Night Sister Zombie to 3 across the board. And we'll do that. Let's plan on doing that. And we'll do that in a couple of days. And then after that, we'll look at. And you know what? Maybe if we can find a way to push them to 5. So this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna, in a couple of days, let's say that I am going to relic, that we're going to try to bring Mother Talzin to 5. You know what? We're going to start at the bottom. We're going to bring Zombie up to 3. We're going to bring everybody to 3 first. Talzin, Marin, Daka, Asajj, Zombie, all to 3. And then going to see if we have enough juice to bring them to 5. If we can, they're gonna disappear from the screen. So I'm not going to do that tonight, because we're already 20 minutes into the video. So plan on doing that in a few days. What day that will be, I will let you know. It's not, I don't know. Anyway, we'll see what happens. Thanks for being here, and thanks for the time. If you have any feedback on anything I said, let me know. If you feel free to disagree, it's fine. But just know that things don't have to be this way. Star Wars and all this stuff that's failing, that's not making money, that's not creating juice, it doesn't have to be this way. Anyway, I appreciate your time. Thanks for being here. As always, hold the line. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.